You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Hey entrepreneurs, it's your Podcast Mogul Phil Better here. I am excited for this episode as I know you are. Before we jump into this episode, I'm going to ask you if you are also a podcaster and you're looking to grow your podcast or monetize your podcast, make sure you stay till the end of the episode. I have a special deal for you, or a special offer, if you will. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's jump into the episode.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself.
Welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and I'm very, very excited to have our guest today, who is an elite coach. They help entrepreneurs, business owners, and all the kind take their business to the next level through their business. Jeanne Omlor Consulting. Jeanne, thank you so much for being here.
You're so welcome, Phil. Nice to be here as well.
I want to get down straight into it. Why did you decide to become an entrepreneur? What was the spark that blazed this passion of yours?
Well, it wasn't just passion. It was also necessity, to be really honest. Ooh. So I was newly single as a mom, and I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we were in New York City, and I had no job. And I thought I need to do something that's sustainable, that I'm good at, where I can take care of my kids and not have to go out and get a job. So I went through a bunch of stuff and I thought, no, what am I good at? I was good at that. I used to coach actors. I was a filmmaker and before. And I thought, I was actually always really pretty good at coaching people about their lives, even diet and stuff like that. I thought, I think I'm going to be a life coach. So that's how I decided. And I really loved it. I first started off as a life coach, but I, in a heartbeat, became a business coach because I was naturally very good at helping people make more money in their businesses.
So it was the necessity of being newly singled, having to decide, hey, I need to take care of these 2 people who depend on me, specifically like a brand new infant. And so you started helping people just in life get their life working together, but realize that you're kind of like, it's more passionate helping people make money.
It was natural. The first few clients I had, all of them wanted help with their business and their life together. And I thought, and my first coach said, you're actually a business coach. She said, all of your clients from the beginning have been business people that, they want the life, but they actually want you to help grow their businesses. And I didn't really know that much about business, but I was helping them do that from the get-go. And she goes, you're just good at this. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm a business and life coach. She goes, yeah, you're a business life coach. She goes, but you're going to end up being a business coach because there's always life in it. And that's what happened. So then I just became a business coach. And then I'm also an executive. I was also an executive leadership coach, but now I am a business coach for coaches and consultants and some online service providers like podcasters and copywriters and digital marketing agencies. So, but that's happened in the last 3.5 years or so.
So pretty much COVID spurred that part of the business.
Sorry?
COVID spurred that part of the business moving more towards the digital entrepreneurs?
Actually, no. I got online before COVID.
Okay.
I got online before COVID, and I'll tell you the story later about that. But I was already positioned online, providentially, a few months before COVID. And I'd already figured out what's called organic marketing online. And I was already getting clients saying, how do you do that without ads? So by the time COVID hit, I was positioned perfectly for more people to say, we need your help because we can't go out and network anymore. So I was already doing well. I don't know if COVID made me do better. I think it probably would have been about the same, but it definitely didn't hurt me.
It helped. If anything, it helped that more than hindered anything. Because so how long have you been in this world of helping, of coaching?
I've been in this world since end of 2019. So August 2019 is when I got my first sale online, and then COVID happened, a few months later, right? So I was already, at 50K months when I went from nowhere to 15K after like 7 weeks. I figured it out on the 8th week, and I got 15K of clients in 1 week. And then the next month I was at 30K, and then 40K and 50K. So when COVID hit, I was already at 50K months, more or less. Yeah. And then everybody's like, we need this. And everybody wanted to be coaching, and nobody could go out. And I still am a really good solution, but especially now, I was like, they need to make money from online and not go out. So that was, for me, I'm not going to say COVID was great, but it didn't hurt. Let's put it that way. Because I did help a lot of people make money from a new or established coaching or consulting business, and some service providers as well. So I provided a real service, and I was passionate about that I was doing my bit to at least stop help some of the pain that was going on for people that had lost their jobs, couldn't make money, and they got online. I was showing them during COVID, and some of my clients had their best months ever in that first month of COVID, because I teach mindset as well, that, the whole world didn't lose money in 3 weeks, No,
I love that. And I think COVID was a great shift of reality for a lot of people, realizing that they didn't need to be centrally located, like their customers and their businesses didn't have to rely on being in a physical location, because now that we have access to the internet, you have access to the population of the world, and you can help a lot more people. I want to kind of focus more, and this conversation maybe on people who are just starting that entrepreneurial journey, that are maybe scared to put their foot into that world because they're scared of like the challenges, because being an entrepreneur is obviously challenging, because you're living more than paycheck to paycheck, you're living client to client. How would you help someone get through that? Like, what would be the process if they come to you fresh off the hurts of losing their job?
Right. Well, first of all, I think having a job is harder than being an entrepreneur. To go to a job every day, most people don't like their job. Every day, the relentlessness in that, getting up, getting the kids to school if they have kids, getting out there, driving, getting dressed. To me, that is way harder than being an entrepreneur. Way harder. And yes, of course, there's stress everywhere. But you might say, but you have a guaranteed paycheck. At what cost is the paycheck? So that's my first thing. The second thing is, what would I say? I'd say several things, because I've spoken to thousands of people, the coaches and people that want to be coaches. And there's certain patterns, okay? Most of the pattern, there's people that, yes, I just want to do this. I believe in myself, or I'm going to, believe enough to coach with you, and you're going to help us because you have mindset and all sorts of stuff. But then I always find there's so many people, and I speak to a lot. They say they want something, but they're not prepared to do what it takes to get that thing. It's this human nature. It's like children, I want that, but I don't want to do that and do my chores to get that extra whatever, right? So there just has to be a point where people, like, they have to take responsibility for their lives. That's the best word. And I'm not judging. I'm saying we all need to do this. We need to take responsibility. I want that. Now, if you're a runner and you want to get to the Olympics, nobody would say, I want to get to the Olympics, but I don't want to practice every day. We know you have to practice every day. We know that. I want to be it, I want to get to Carnegie Hall. How do you do that? You practice, right? If you're a violinist or a singer, or you want to get to the Met Opera, you got to practice. We know that. No opera singer says, I want to sing at the Met, but I don't want to practice and I don't want to get a singing coach. I don't want to learn music. So there's something about entrepreneurship where somewhere, and I don't get this, I'm trying to understand it. Why is it that the one thing that people think should just be a magic wand is business? How did that happen? That everywhere else, everything, sports, music, jobs, you got to work hard to get that promotion, right? So somehow something's broken, that people think that everything else takes work, but I'm going to be that magic wand person that's just going to have people flocking. Oh, and I don't want to invest myself either. Okay, so I would say people need to get real. They really need to take a good look at, and they can do what they want, but there's no escaping numbers. On a sheet of paper, what do I want? What do I need to get that? Okay, and it's not sit around, not investing, not getting help. And I see this all the time. And, people tell me every day, I started this coaching business, or I want to start, and I'm just waiting. And have you invested in a coach? No, but the coach is going to give you the way forward. Oh, I just can't afford the coach. I have 3 more months and then I have to get a job. So it's almost like people driving and there's a cliff ahead. And they know the cliff is ahead, but they keep driving until they're at the cliff. And then it's like, well, that didn't work, so I'm going to go get a job. So it's just sort of like an emotional intelligence thing, so my advice is get clear. My advice is not go get a coach yet. My advice is get clear. Do you want to be a successful entrepreneur coach? The answer is yes. Okay. If it's really yes, get really clear on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do I want to be that coach? Keep asking yourself, do I really want this? People are like, yes, I want it. Okay. How much money do you want to make? I want to make $1 million. Now I've heard this. I want to make $1 million. I'm like, great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to make that million? Oh, 5. That's neutral. That's neutral. So you want to be not neutral. If you're neutral, it's I'll take it. And this woman actually said to me, yeah, if it happened, I would take it. And I said, $1 million is not going to happen by accident. That is a lot of work and investment and training and coaching. And it's just not, but there's something going on where people think that the people making the money, it just is falling on our heads. I talk about that. It's not just falling on my head. So my advice is get clear. Now, if the answer is, I want to make, 10K plus months as a coach, folks, you are going to need a coach to get you there. You will need a coach. And if you think you're going to get away with it and not have a coach and get there, your chances are so low, you're wasting your time and your precious energy on saying you want something, but not taking the steps to get it. Sort of like that person that wants to run in the Olympics, but won't practice. So that's my advice. Get clear and invest. Boom.
All right, the episode's done. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. That is like that advice is very. I can speak from my experience, not having a coach, trying this on my own, not knowing the steps that I need to take, versus when I did hire my coach, did start getting more and more investing in myself. I did do the investing by reading the books and thinking I could do it by myself by reading all these books that entrepreneurs that I were able to interview, but having someone actually sit down and be like, okay, no, this won't work. Let's get it more simplified. Let's get it more clear cut so that you're not overwhelming yourself with, oh my God, I can't do it whenever you have a problem, but having a straight line of understanding, because they clear the path a bit for you. They cut up the leaves when you're walking through that jungle of entrepreneurship, because the first couple steps there, it is a jungle.
It's not the first couple of steps. It's the whole way. I have coaches all the time. My coaches just get more and more expensive and more specialized. Okay, so I have 2 coaches at the moment and a mentor. So one's doing one, one's doing another, another's doing another. One's mindset, the other one's a special business strategy that I'm doing. And then the other one is general mentorship for leadership and impact. So if you think you're going to get away with it, every single entrepreneur that I know has a coach. And All of us have said we spent a lot of money on coaches. However, we've made more than we've spent. So this frugality, this cheapness in investing in oneself, it's just shooting yourselves in the foot. It's not about clearing a few leaves. It's about, okay, somebody comes in to work with me. I've been doing this a long time now, okay? Mm-hmm. I said this to a woman today because she had this conundrum. I said, well, and she goes, you're right, I get it. I said, you are on the baseball field and all you can see is home plate. You're right there. That's all you can see right now. That's all you know, what's right in front of you. And you're there batting, and all you can see is home plate. I said, wouldn't it be better to work with somebody that has a bird's eye view of the whole stadium and what's going to go on there? And she went, I get it. So that's how I explained it. That the more you learn, the bigger the bird's eye view, and you're seeing now, okay, there's home plate, there's somebody on first, there's somebody on second, there's somebody on third, there's somebody out in the outfield. All of that. How can you play baseball if you can't see the whole field? You can't.
First of all, I've never heard it explained like that, and I think that I'm going to cut that part and just keep and put it out to social media because it's so true. When you're working with a coach, they allow you to see the next level. They can help you grow to the next point. Like you said, you're still investing in coaches because you still have a lot more to be at the level you want to be. You're always looking to be a better version of yourself, always chasing that person that's just out of reach of your ideal persona. And like, becoming $1 million coach is different than being a $10,000 coach because $1 million coach has a lot more robustness in their skill set to help someone reach that level. So Thank you so much.
Welcome. Now, the thing is, if somebody wants, this is the way I see it. It's the same thing. If you want something, find somebody that's already done that because they've done the steps. They don't have to think, yeah, I don't know. It's like, well, yeah, I did this, so that'll, probably work for you. And so then you want to get to the next level. So then you find somebody of a higher level. And, of course, I know that there are people that are making $20 million a year. Well, those are the coaches that I need to go to next, right? So if you want something, that's the saying. If you want something, find somebody who's already done that and pay them. How'd you do that, right?
Yeah, it's very simple. I love how you are transitioning from helping individuals, now helping coaches reach the level that you had so that they can impact more lives, and consultants, of course, so that they can impact more lives and create a better world for everybody, in a more equality world, because everyone's making the money that they're happy with.
Exactly. And this is the thing. I love my job because I'm not just making money. Every time I coach somebody, and they go get clients and they're coaching those clients, the amount of compounded good that I am creating makes me feel amazing because it's not just, hey, I'm selling a product and I'm getting that. I never wanted just merely to make money. Money's great. I'm not knocking people that sell a product because you could be selling, that shirt you're making, right, that you're wearing. Okay. and people love that shirt. That's great. Okay. However, my mission is that if I'm making money, I'm also creating a ripple effect of compounded good and impact, which is happening every time we get a client. We know that client is helping someone else with weight loss, executive coaching, leadership, making money, relationships, happiness, depression, whatever they're coaching on, parenting. So I know that I'm helping them not only get the money, that means they're helping somebody. And before, they were not helping anybody and they weren't making money. So it's a twofold effect. And I know both are happening. I love my life. I love my life because I have zero doubts about the worthiness of my job because it's not just about making money.
I want to kind of like just pinpoint that, like the making money, yes, when you're not having any money is very important because it helps you get to the point where it's like, oh, money isn't the answer. Money, yes, can help you do a lot of things, but if it's only your driving force, you'll end up just being empty. But with what you're saying, helping people make more money so that they can help other people make more money, and it's the ripple effect. If I'm helping someone make money, money's obviously going to come to me, but that person's life has changed. That person, I'm helping them change lives, and I'm so thankful that you said that, and it. From someone who just is so successful like yourself, it shows that yes, money can't be the only driving factor. You have to look at what else are you doing, and I think that message is so important for the world to hear because I think we've been focused on the money too often.
Right, and the thing is, that it's not just, I don't just coach coaches who coach business coaches. I'm coaching all sorts of coaches. And as I said, it's somebody that's lost in their job and they're, we have coaches that are doing, very intense life coaching. People have saved lives coaching these people. So it's not just about the money. Now, money is important. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing, saying, oh, money's not important. I'm not saying that. Money is important. We all need money. Money is good. The thing about money being bad, no, greed is bad. Money is great. Money buys food. Money pays for our kids. Money pays for our homes, entertainment, life insurance, presents, vacations, everything. What could be bad about that? So there's this weird money story going around that, oh no, I only want to be like Gandhi. Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm just glad that I'm making money and also have all that other impact going on. So I just feel great about it. Now, I will say something you said is important. After a while, there has to be more than just the money making. You're absolutely right. And this is the thing. After the first million, if it's just about the money, you will not sustain. You can't, it will be very hard after the first million, because it's exciting. I made $1 million. After that point, if there's not something more than just the money, it's going to be hard to build your business because most people, it's not meaningful enough.
No, I'm just going to shush because that is so true. I realize that now I'm not at $1 million anywhere close to that, but I realize that through my struggles to get monetized for my business, and that I realized that the money isn't the main thing. Luckily, I get to talk with entrepreneurs nearly, if you look at it, daily, but in a very concrete period of time on my Wednesdays and Thursdays. That's all I do is I talk with entrepreneurs like yourself, and I get to learn, and I learn really quickly. Instead of getting to that point and having that emptiness when I hit that $1 million, I've learned from talking with entrepreneurs like yourself that having that extra bit, like, yes, the money is important in our society. Unfortunately, money is important, but it's a tool. It's not the end all be all. It's a tool to get to where you want to be and help you get to the happy point where you're not struggling anymore for food. You're not struggling for rent. You're not struggling for any kind of entertainment. Now you have that money. Now you need to know, okay, I have that. My basic needs are filled. What else can I do now? What's that passion that can keep me going so I can hit that multi-million-dollar figure and help impact more people?
Right. Well, money is not just like, okay, it's great. Mm-hmm. And nobody says this. Money is great. The more money you have, isn't it great if you have money and you can donate to your church or help people in need? Or you have maybe a specific type of people that you want to help, or children, foster children. Or, how could that be bad? How could people even knock money? Really? Like, the more you have, the better. The more you have, the more people you can say, well, I'm just going to write a check for that person. Or so it goes beyond. I want a ton of money. I want so much, because then I'm just free. I don't need that much for my life. Obviously, how much money can I actually spend myself, right?
Yes. Right?
How much money, you could go on like a world tour and spend a lot, but after a while you'd be bored just like traveling around, of course, to do that for a month or two. But I'm saying people only really use a certain amount of money. Maybe they're big spenders, but still they can't use $1 billion a month, So I will go further. People need to get past this money story. Money is beautiful. The more you have, the better. So stop feeling ashamed that you want to make money, because the more shame is to not admit that money is important in this life, and it's not unfortunate. It's fortunate we have a tool like money that the more we get of it, the more good we can do. That's a beautiful thing. So that's why I'm going further with this. It's not okay. It is a beautiful thing. And the more, and I didn't used to think that way. That's why I keep saying the M word, money. People can't stand when you say cash or money. They're like shy away because they have money story. So people need to get clear. Yes, money's amazing. Money grubbing's not amazing, but money's amazing, especially when you're doing something amazing with it, like selling a great product or great service or helping a bunch of people through you. Like I'm helping people and then they're helping people. As I said, it's compounded ripple effect. It's amazing. Okay, so Phil, we got to talk. Why aren't you at 1 million yet? We have to talk later.
We'll talk right after. I promise you. I'll tell you everything afterwards. I don't want to spoil too much for my audience, but because this is more about you than me, even though I feel like I'm getting free coaching every time I'm on a podcast with one of my amazing guests. In your journey so far, in everything you've done, I would love to hear about how you helped one of your coaches hit a goal that they had, or either overcome an obstacle that their money obstacle or a business obstacle that they were able to achieve and just feel like they're on top of the world. Do you have maybe a story that just comes to mind when I talk about that? There's
so many. Like most people that come into work, literally, everyone that comes in has some. We have a whole team. We have a mindset coach who's a healer. We have all sorts of help in my program. So it's almost everybody. Because when I speak to somebody, I do most of my sales calls still, like almost all of them. Almost all of them, because I really want to see what's going on. And they're like, I can't believe you're on this call with me. I had to take a sales person because we have too many. Great problem to have, right? But I want to figure out, like, how can we help you? So what I say is, what's your desire? Not what we desire. What do you want? And they're like, wow, people cry. Like, nobody ever asked me what I want. What do you want? Okay, this is what I want. Okay, and then there's all the issues, the mindset, the money story. I can't do it. We get through all that. So it's really been miraculous for a lot of my clients. But I'll give you one example. One client came in and she had been wanting to be a coach for 4 years. She found me online. She did a deep dive on all my materials, reached out and left me a voice message in Facebook Messenger. I listened. She's like, oh, Zhan, I just love you. I love everything you're doing. And I've wanted to be a coach for 4 years. But this and but that. I said, let's talk. We get on the call. She goes, oh, I'm doing this. She goes, I have no credit. She goes, I'm going to find a credit card. Within 1 hour, she had manifested a credit card and was in. She said, this is it. I got goosebumps. This woman, I helped her create her offer, the niche, package, everything. She got to 11K in the first week of working with us. 11K. Then she kept going, and we even had to tweak things, and she changed her offer, and we did all that as well. Some settling. Even with all that, she finished off the 12-week program with 30K. And there were other benefits. She lost 13 pounds in the 12 weeks because she was so happy. And she said, I didn't think that you were going to be also a health coach for me. And that's the beauty of it. It's not like you're doing one thing and somebody's life improves and it's a ripple effect in their life, because then she felt happy. She said, I'm just a happier and healthier me. She goes, I just felt so compelled, and I'm really into health. And she goes, I saw your leadership on certain things you just threw in about health. Like, you work out every day or you take a walk. And she goes, I'm going to start modeling that. And then her mother thanked me. Her mother said, please thank Zhan. I've never seen such a transformation. So I think that's pretty darn good that somebody's whole life changed in 12 weeks. And she paid off all her student loans after 1 week of working with us.
That is if that's not a success story, I don't know what is. Losing weight, making 30K at the end of that 12 weeks, plus being able to pay off student debt, which we all know is huge and a huge burden off of anybody's life if they went to school for their degrees. So that is a hell of a memory to have. Zhan, we're coming to the end, and I don't want you to leave because I'm getting so much wisdom. I'm going to definitely enjoy listening back to this episode and just picking everything out and sharing it with my audience. But we do need to get to the spark question of the show, which I think you will have an amazing answer, because just the vitality that you bring. Has a stranger ever made an impact on your life, and how?
Yes. When my youngest child was about 1, we all went to this resort in, I think it was in Pennsylvania. Yes, it was. Okay. I can't remember the name of it. And we went there, and we were there. It was actually, we arrived on my birthday, which is April 12th of that year. Okay. And we hadn't had a break, and we had the 4-year-old and the 1-year-old. Anyway, we turned up, and everybody was just going home from spring break. That's right. And so we arrived on the day that everybody was leaving, and then there were just a bunch of, retired people, because then they had the bunch of people. So there was us and a bunch of retired people, which is fine with me, because with the young kids, it's much more tame, and there were not a bunch of crazy, spring breakers. But anyway, we're sitting there in the shuttles going from, it's amazing, like resort, okay, with all these activities and on a lake. It was really lovely. And we're in the shuttle. And I'm holding the baby, and my 4-year-old, and my ex was there. And this old man walks on, and he comes on and he sits down, and I hear him say to his wife, "Oh, if I had known I was going to last this long, I would have taken better care of myself." I never forgot that, because he wasn't well, and he's probably on meds and everything. And he literally said to her, very honestly between them, and I heard them, "Oh, honey, if I'd known I was going to last this long, I would have taken better care of myself." He never dreamt he was going to live that long, because, the drugs and everything, they are living long. People are living longer. Mm-hmm. That was just burned into my brain.
It's now that you said it, I'm thinking, I'm like, I my goal is to live to 100, because like in my lifetime, that's what a lot of people are going, and I want to. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I need to start taking care. If I want to go to 100, I'm going to be brick and bones by the time. So I need to take care of my body right now so that I can last and have that energy. And I never thought, like, because I'm so in the moment here, oh my God, that's burning in my mind.
Age. It's not about the age. It wasn't what I got from that. It was, if I had known that I was still going to be around, because I'm hurting. He's basically saying, I don't feel good. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't really care if I live to 100 or not. I've never cared, actually. I want to feel good while I'm here. That's all. We could all go tomorrow. I know that.
That's true.
I live every day as if it could be my last. In fact, I'm going to say something that most people don't know about me. An added bonus. I count every single day that I have left, if all goes well. You can go on those life insurance charts and look at your age and your gender. Mm-hmm. Every day I have 12,000 something days left. Okay. That's probably not going to be 16 or 20,000. It's going to be somewhere around there if all goes well and I don't have an accident. And people think this is morbid. I don't. I think it's reality, that I am now conscious of every day that's passing to not waste a day, because it's only 12,000 odd. That's the point. I want these last 12,000 or so days to be good days, and I feel good. And that guy, when I heard that, I thought, whoa, he's right. I already took pretty good care of myself, but it pushed it to a new level.
Wow. I'm very much looking forward to re-listening to this episode, because that is heavy. Wow. And I don't find it morbid, because I seen the as an adult person looking at my parents, I know that, like, when I lived with them, I spent a lot of time, and now as an adult, there's less and less time I get to spend with them, because I'm on my own doing my things. So, and I'm conscious of that. I just never put it inside of myself that I have a limited number of days left, because it's so far off. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'll live till I'm 80 or I'll live to 100, and not realize that, oh my God, thank you.
Also, you might want to punch in their ages and see how many days you think your parents have left. You might end up spending more days with them.
I'm going to definitely try that, because that's a goal. I just want to be around my family and have fun and just enjoy life with my family, because those are where the memories are made. Jeanne, I'm going to jump off the screen here because we are getting to the end of the episode. I want you to let my audience know where they can connect with you if they want to work with you and take their life to the next level. The floor is yours.
Sure. So I'm actually going to give you a link here. So if you go to my website, it's zhanomlor.com, and Phil will be putting it in there. Also, I'm just type it. Also, Jeanne Omlor on Instagram, Jeanne Omlor on Facebook, Jeanne Omlor on LinkedIn. It's all just Jeanne Omlor, and you can find a lot of my content and follow me and get on a call with me. Thanks so much.
Give me 1 second. Sorry. Jeanne, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It was a pleasure talking with you. Yeah, there we go. I can't thank you enough for sharing the wisdom that you did. I definitely will have the notes down in the link in the show notes down below.
Great. This has been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I hope that your audience got something valuable out of this.
I can promise you I got value out of this. I know my audience will, because there's so much gems inside. I can't even start naming them because I'm just still not dumbfounded, but just amazed by how you look at how many days you have left, and that's how you live each day to the fullest, because that's extraordinary. To my audience, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jeanne, for being here and blowing my mind. Again, another guest blowing my mind. This has been an amazing day for me with interviews, and Zhan, you just topped it off. So my audience, remember, check the show notes for all of that. And again, remember to always invest in yourself. Hey, digital entrepreneurs, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, if you're looking to take your podcast to the next level, like most of these entrepreneurs have taken their business to the next level, to scale it, if you will, make sure you check out my brand new newsletter. Links are down below. It is called the Monetization Mogul Syndicate newsletter, or it could be Phil Better Stories of Monetization Moguls, or Making Moguls is what I do. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. But I want to thank you very much for listening. And as always, remember to invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.